Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss the concept of praxia and the type of apraxia, and also the clinical manifestation. First, what is apraxia? Praxia refers to learned motor activity. In other words, praxia is a generation violation movement of a performance of a particular action towards achieve a goal. Next one. There are different types of apraxia include four types. First one, motor praxia. Motor praxia, this is the ability to perform international movement or simple gestures. Second one, in additional praxia, this is the ability of a manipulate object or tools, sequence of motor action involving the knowledge of object function, knowledge of action, and the knowledge of serial order. And also third one, facial praxia, is the ability to perform international movement of gestures with a different part of the face, like lips, eyes, tongue, eyebrows, cheeks. Fourth one, vasoconstrictive praxia. Vasoconstrictive praxia is the ability to plan and execute the movement necessary to organize the series of elements in the space and draw or copy figures. Next slide. What is apraxia? Apraxia is a neurological disorder characterized by the inability to perform learned movement command even so the compound understood there are willingness to perform the movement. Both of desire and the capacity move are present, but the person simply can't execute the act. We have different type of apraxia, affect the body slightly different way. First one, limb kinetic apraxia, and also in the motor apraxia. And third one, contributal apraxia, and fourth one, intentional apraxia, and the punctual apraxia, and also constructional apraxia, and the oculomotor apraxia, and the verbal apraxia. First one, apraxia of speech. Apraxia of speech is that meaning the difficult planning and coordinating the movement necessary of speech. Second one, vocal of orofascial apraxia. This one is the most common of type of apraxia, is the inability to carry out a facial movement on demand, or for example, inability to like ones of lips. Third one, construction of apraxia. The inability to draw the construct to copy simple configuration such as instruction in section shape. This is a patient to have a difficult copying and like the simple diagram or drawing the basic shape. Fourth one, in additional praxia, this is a patient to have an ability to conceptualize the task and impaired ability to complete multi-step action. In the motor apraxia, this is a patient to have a defects in the ability plan complete motor action that really on the semantic memory. And also the limb kinetic apraxia, this is the inability performance braces voluntary movement of extremities. For example, the person affected by limb apraxia may have a difficult waving hollow time. And also oculomotor apraxia, this meaning the difficult movement the eye compound is specialized with the skate movement that direct gas to target. And also I want to add something. The most common of causes apraxia, first one, brain tumor or stroke or traumatic brain injury or condition causes a generation worseness of the brain nervous system. And also the symptom of apraxia speech. First one, the difficult strangely syllables together in the appropriate order make words or inability to do so. Second one, minimal babbling during the infancy. Third one, difficult saying long or complex word. Fourth one, repeated attempt at pronunciation of words. Thank you for attention.
Omar next. Dr. I sent you his presentation.
Omar is not here.
Okay, Mati, you're next and you're the last.
Hello, my topic will discuss about the cerebellum. Next. So the cerebellum, which stands for a little brain, is a hindbrain structure that controls balance, coordination, movement, and motor skills, and it's thought to be important in processing some types of memory. Also, the cerebellum only accounts for 10% of the overall brain mass. It contains over half of the nerve cells than the rest of the brain combined. The cerebellum is also one of a few mammalian brain structure where adult neurogenesis, the development of new neurons, has been confirmed. The cerebellum is an older part of the brain, also found in animals. It's even believed that the cerebellum was present in animals which existed before humans, according to scientists. Now, where is it located? The cerebellum is located at the back of the brain, behind the brainstem, below the temporal and occipital lobes, and beneath the back of the cerebrum. The cerebellum is also divided into two hemispheres, like the cerebellar cortex, unlike the cerebral hemispheres. Each hemisphere of the cerebellum is associated with each side of the body. The cerebellum consists of a cortex, which is the outer layer containing folder brain tissue filled with most of the cerebellum's neurons. There is also a fluid-filled ventricle and cerebral nuclei, which is the innermost part containing neurons that communicate information from the cerebellum to other areas of the brain. Within the cerebrum, there are thought to be three anatomical lobes which are divided by two fissures: large, the primary fissure, and the posterolateral fissure. So the cerebellum can also be divided into three function areas: cerebellum. This is the largest area of the cerebellum, responsible for planning, movements, and motor learning. It also works to regulate coordination of muscles activation as well as eye movements. The second one is spinocerebellum. This area function is regulating body movement by allowing for error correction. The third one, vestibular cerebellum. This area is involved in controlling balance and reflexes of the eyes. So the anterior lobe and the posterior lobe, and we have the third one. This is the flocculonodular lobe. This is the oldest part of the brain in terms of evolution. This part of the cerebellum is responsible for balance and spatial attention, as well as receiving visual input. Is a function. The cerebellum's main role is to monitor and regulate motor behavior without any need for conscious awareness. The cerebellum's main role is to is to monitor and regulate motor behavior among other function. It was once believed that the only function of the cerebellum was in coordinating movement. We now, however, understand that the cerebellum plays a much bigger role in a variety of function and communication signals to other areas of the brain. Below are a list of some of associated function of the cerebellum: coordination, voluntary movement, balance, posture, motor learning, sequence learning, reflex memory, mental function, emotional processing. The cerebellum receives sensory information, especially regarding the body position, so it knows what each body part is doing. Signals can be received from the brain stem, spinal cord, and the cerebellum to coordinate and control movement. It receives information from the frontal lobes of the brain, so it knows what movements the frontal lobes intend to make. Also, the cerebellum doesn't initiate movement. It does help to organize the movement to ensure it's a flood and coordinated action. On their own, the frontal lobes would produce jerky and conditioned and inaccurate movements. Therefore, the cerebellum plays an important part in regulating this. Fundamentally, the cerebellum organizes all muscles group action, including eye movement. The cerebellum also aids in balance and posture. It monitors the information regarding balance and posture to ensures that when we are standing or walking, we are not falling down and we are able to keep ourselves steady. In terms of motor learning, the cerebellum is vital when learning new skills. For instance, if someone were learning to ride a bike for the first time, you may expect they would typically start off making mistakes and falling off the bike. The cerebellum helps to fine-tune the motor skills required to ride a bike until they get to a point where the action can be completed seamlessly and almost automatically. Now about the cerebellum damage. Cerebellar damage results in the breakdown and destruction of nerve cells, which can have long-lasting effects. A person who has damage to their cerebellum may experience some of the following symptoms: walking unsteadily, tremors, involuntary rhythmic contractions, vertigo, which can also lead to swallowing, nausea, and headaches, slurred speech, inaccurate or jerky movement, cognitive impairment. This can affect memory, learning, and things. Dystonia is involuntary contraction of muscles, which can result in muscle being held in painful position as a result. Clumsiness may give someone the appearance of being intoxicated. Less refined motor skills, ataxia, it's a loss of control of voluntary movement. Drinking alcohol has an immediate and temporary effect on the cerebellum as the body's coordination and movement became dumbs. Someone who is intoxicated with alcohol may not be able to walk in a straight line and lose their balance. Also, these symptoms are temporary. Repeated alcohol misuse. Becoming an alcohol use disorder can have long-lasting impacts on the cerebellum and lead to these symptoms being more long-lasting. Other causes of damage to the cerebellum can come from injury to the head, such as falling backward and hitting the back of the head, where the cerebellum lies. Brain tumors and infection in the brain can also cause long-lasting damage to the cerebellum. Damage could also occur through medical issues such as having Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, and experiencing a stroke. Similar lead or mercury poisoning and the overuse certain medications can also cause lasting damage to the cerebral function.